Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The United States of America reportedly joins the coalition of the willing. That is, if you remember, the coalition made by the Brits and the French, using every other baboons that they could catch with a lasso on the street. And there were about 4. Together there were 6. But nevertheless, supposedly, the United States of America joins that coalition. Now, that's the first topic. And the second one, the European Union stopped funding Ukraine. Why? Because Ukraine doesn't follow orders. So that tells you who's in charge of Ukraine. All right, let's start with the first topic. Right here, Ukraine Forum. Trump joins coalition of the willing. Trump, the 29th of July 2025. Can new US sanctions force Russia to make peace? I can give you the answer right now. That is no. Can the new US sanctions against Russia's allies force Vladimir Putin to make peace? No. The effect will depend not on intentions but on the scale of actions. Putin must see that the White House isn't bluffing. Only then will Moscow be compelled to revise its war calculations. Question. Well, this is nice, like the communist ideology. Looks very nice on the paper. Looks very fair, very just. But there's a little problem, which used to be a friend of mine, I'm not going to give you my name, used to say this to me when we were going to do something important. He would call me maybe the night before the next day when we were supposed to do what we planned to do. Emil, yes? We have a little problem. And when I heard that after a while I realized that it was not we have a little problem. He has a big problem that changes and nullifies, cancels everything. Okay? So the same here. There's a little problem. These guys did not take into consideration a big, important variable, which is Russia. So these guys are talking like imbeciles, only from one angle. We will do this, and then Russia will do that. Or we will do this, Russia will be forced to this. We will do this, and Russia will be the... They never think about, what if Russia is not doing what you think is going to do? What if Russia says, we don't care about your sanctions? What if Russia says, we're going to fuck you up with some nukes in your fucking heads? What if Russia says, fuck off? We're going to dump the dollar with all our BRICS organization. Well, Russia can do a lot of various things. That's why Russia is a variable. These guys don't take it in consideration. They keep it as a constant. Russia will obey. Russia will lose. Russia will... Why? What makes you think the Russians will act like that? Nothing. It's just in your imagination. It's like a Hollywood poor written script, as all Hollywood. Poor written baboonish scripts, where the good people, what they designate as good people, always win. Well, I don't think we are the good people here. Honestly, I'm not saying the Russians are the good people, but we definitely are not the good people. I mean, not we, you and I. I'm talking about the guys supposedly representing us, right? And making decisions on our names. So I don't think that Russia will just come on its knees and take its panties off and say, take me. I don't think so. I think Russia will say, no, we're not going to do anything. You know, we got nuclear weapons. What are we going to do? We're going to just strike you tomorrow by 5 a.m. if you don't shut the fuck up. What do you think the West will do? Oh, we're going to do it? Are you going to do it? I don't think so. You're going to say, oh, Trump, time out. You're going to come to your senses. So that's why the Americans will not join the coalition of the willing, will take over, maybe, but they always know it's a limitation. It's like you and I. Let's say we're on the street and you say, Emil, I don't like you. All right? That's fine. Just back the fuck off. All right. And you come closer to me. And I say, Gigi, you're coming closer. You see this? You see this? You see this? This is going to go in your ass and then in your mouth. Okay. So shut the fuck up. Back off. And you're going to say, no, because if I come closer and I show my cock around you, Quanta la mela, it was the joke in Romania with Quanta la mela. When a guy showed his dick, it was, let me show you my dick. Quanta la mena, tarina, quanta la mena. Well, that's how the, anyway. So are you gonna do that? I say, come closer. We're gonna closer. I'm gonna, You're not gonna come closer unless you wanna be smacked, and I have the potential to smack you. So the Americans will do squat. They will push as far as they can and as far as the Russians will allow them. This is why this war is a controlled war. Meow. Meow. Did you see that? Meow. The fuck? Oh, hello, Mary Lou. Norok. It's just my Japanese konnichiwa peach wine. All right. Meow. Meow. I don't get paid, so don't worry. Things I do with my soul. I never thought martial arts should be ever thought per money. They should be given like religion, from the heart to the heart. Some people are profiteering. I think they're just getting it dirty. But anyway, let's move back to our little ship. All right, so the Russians will allow. It is a controlled war, my friends. This is not an all war. When these guys say, where's my little thing? Here, my Louis Armstrong. Anyway, I like Louis Armstrong. I'm just kidding. I would like you to go and listen to Louis Armstrong's version of Ochi Chorny. Ochi Chorny, black eyes, not like mine, but anyway, listen to that. Beautiful. Ochi Chorny is a Russian, if I remember, traditional song. Ochi Chorny, not Oi Tony Večer, Tony Večer. That's Fedor's entrance song. All right, so let's go back. I'm a little bit, so I might say certain things. So here we have the Russians let them do certain things, the other guys are pushing it, and then the Russians from time to time say back off, and they're like, why? They know the Russians have the potential. That's the first topic. No, there's no coalition of the willing, because they know the Russians can smack them. And Great Britain and France took a shit when nobody joined their coalition of the willing because they know the Russians can destroy them. And they're not willing to go all the way. Next one. This is from Ukrainska Pravda. Again, from Tuesday, the 29th of July. United Nations. European Union warns Kyiv it will halt funding unless anti-corruption agencies' independence is restored. Weren't the Russians the enemy? Weren't they funding Ukraine because of the Russians? And if you tell me, yeah, but Ukraine upholds our Western values, the Judeo-Christian, not the Western, Judeo-Christian values. Well, I will tell you this, how this Ukrainian leadership came into being in 2014. And I gotta tell you this, I'm listening. Bring it on. Bring it on, baby doll. There you go. Spread your legs. There you go. All right, so that's the way it is. You brought the new regime in Kyiv through a coup d'etat organized by those guys, the Democrats of the world. And then immediately they recognize the traitors. Let's give us some other example. As Gigi overthrows a legitimate government, democratically elected, of a country, with the help, support of foreign countries, he becomes a traitor by definition. So all the people in Ukraine who participated in overthrowing the legitimate, democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014 are falling into the category of traitors. Got that? Okay, now we move on. So my friends, these guys knew since then that the guys in charge are not really legitimate. Corruption right there. But the minute you don't follow the orders, we are going to blackmail you. And this is the West that supposedly everybody wants to join. Really? So remember, the West nowadays, I don't want to call it the West, I would call it the Judeo-Christian. I like it better. Why? For obvious reasons I explained so many times before. We are not the Greco-Roman civilization anymore. We are the burning bush, Noah's Ark culture. Not civilization, culture. So the difference, go and read about it if you don't know what the difference is between a culture and a civilization. Anyway, I'm exaggerating just to make sure that you understand the superiority and inferiority of the two directions Europe picked, or was picked for us. So my friends, that's the way it is. These guys are working with blackmails and threats. That tells me, I made a video earlier today, that tells me that Ukraine is not actually independent, is actually owned by some Western countries. I thought that democracy is the pinnacle of whatever, the human nature. But you have to defend democracy. You don't have to defend something that is obviously a truism, isn't it? If you have to defend it, that means something is wrong about it, because we would all come to the exact conclusion that democracy is the best political system that there is. But some people, it seems like they think not. But it's obvious the rest of us think. So when these guys are telling us protecting democracy or defending democracy, yes, there are some forces who do not like that. Like, I don't know, the elites in the United States of America, or the big interests in the United States of America, or let's say the dynasties in the United States of America, like Kennedy dynasty, like Bush dynasty, like Clinton dynasty, like Obama dynasty, like Trump future dynasty. That's what was promised to Trump, I think. That's why he's doing what he's doing. Your dynasty will be the one. And he's going after Obama's at this point. So my friends, these guys warn, if you're not halt funding, not give you money if you don't do what we tell you to do. Anti-corruption agencies, you got Ukraine fighting Russia, a military conflict. Do you give a fuck about anti-corruption agencies? They're corrupt to their core, my friends. Corrupt to their core. Oh my Lord. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It's so shallow. It's so low. It's unbelievable. In the past, 8 or 9 years of my life, I came to understand the games, the dynamics on this planet. They're very shallow. It's not because they're simple. They're shallow. You know why they're shallow? Because they know that the baboons in the society will not get it. Some of us will get it, but we are just this small faction that get it. They don't care about us. They care about the other side. And as long as their media operatives are pushing the narrative, the baboons, the know-nothings, remember that party in the USA? The know-nothing? The know-nothing people that vote are allowed to vote. That's why they like democracy. That's why the elites like democracy, because they control the propaganda, and the baboons will hook to the propaganda, the low-hanging fruit of CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and all the garbage, and they will outvote you, who look outside of the cage. You are a boar in the wild. They are pigs on farmer's farm. They're fatter, they're happier, all right? They're safer by the farmer, but when Christmas time comes, who's gonna look for them with, hey, piggy, 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 some bacon for Christmas? But you, on the other hand, in the wild, we're gonna face adversity. You're gonna be attacked. You're gonna be cancelled. You're gonna be fired. But you get stronger. The harsher environment will create a stronger organism, and you will be maybe a little bit scattered here, scattered there, scattered wherever, and not as fat as the pig on the farm. You're going to be like the boar in the wild, but you will be much superior to the fat pig on a farmer's farm. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Ain't I good? I'm just kidding. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have to, say certain things, because otherwise nobody will say it. I'm just kidding. Too much wine, man. When it's too much wine, you want Emil to tell you the truth, or all the truth, nothing but the truth. Don't, waterboard him. Give him some wine as waterboarding. He's going to tell you willingly. You want to know about that? Ha! Let me tell you, man. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Crystal, see you later.